And they're off. Looks like both going with the Sanctuary start and bow right away.
Well, we're not gonna have any trouble with mimics or Igors this seed.
Yeah, quick map check there on Dunka's side.
I didn't get to see it because I think I forgot to turn off my phone. Give me a second, please.
Yeah, I just looked away for a second and saw the map going away, so I actually did not catch any of it. Dunka gonna do a lumberjack check. Catobat, skip that.
All right, back.
And so BigDunka actually did a bush crab, had bombs. Catobat did not pick one up, so sitting on 0 bombs going into Kakariko.
Which means, well, actually, he's a little short on money, but he probably would have went to the shop if he had it. Probably gonna hope there's some bombs in one of the chests in the well or in Blind's hut.
Yeah, absolute worst case, there's 10 rupees for sure in the well that'll give him 50. Also, there's 3 bombs right there because there's always 3 bombs right there.
It's like the game knows. Unfortunately, Catobat wasted a bomb. So nothing much in Blind's hut. The thief didn't really do a good job of stealing this time around.
Yeah, those 10 arrows will help out some. Let him do Mini Moldorm Cave without having to buy bombs necessarily if he finds a couple of packs.
Let's see what's in the well. We got blue mail. And moon pearl, that's good. Mirror. Card piece head, 20 rupees. That was a nice well.
Yeah, all the value was hiding here for CAC, it looks like. There might still be some more in the south part of it, but nothing in Blind's Hut.
And we got a nice return of investment from the bottle vendor.
I mean, that doesn't seem like a good way to stay in business.
And
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, okay, flute right here, directly by flute activation spot.
It's always nice to have the flute and the bottle, but they don't have the bottle yet. Yeah, when at CAC. And Chicken Hut didn't look like it had anything to note.
Yeah, really the only thing we're missing in here is a bottle, but the flute makes checking Sick Kid later pretty trivial.
Yes, indeed. And I hope that they do check Sick Kid considering the result of a race that's just about to finish, which I won't spoil too much.
And we've got Bird Sync.
And Library Sync and Race Sync, as they both head to those directions.
Neither one choosing to just do the race game, but there is a bottle there, so probably going to go back and grab that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you can get that bottle, take the flute, and then flute back, and then you can flute the South Shore, though. I think I'd rather save and quit just because they haven't done Link's House yet.
Yeah, worth mentioning, there is the extra delay on save quits at this exact version that'll probably be fixed before too long. It might actually be quicker to just flute back to Link's house. Hi, Catobat, cashing in the B for some Zora money.
Well, I guess, oh, never mind. I was thinking of something else, but I was about to say Sick Kid was, be vendor or something, or be appreciator, which he really is, actually.
Dunka started with Ice Cave there. A little bit of an interesting routing choice with the flute. All of this is a lot nicer than it is without.
It's kind of weird, especially since you usually would fake flipper after Ice Rock Cave, but it's just a slight difference.
You with the flute, you can just flute to 8 and fake flipper though.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, there's our gloves, so we now just need either mitts or hammer for that Dark World access.
And with that glove, BigDunka's gonna check the back escape, which is a really good idea in this case with 3 checks back there.
Yeah, we've already found one of the 6 items in Escape because Bo was in Sanctuary, so both the map and key are still around. Um,
And there was a small key at the back of escape, so we still have a map not found for Hyrule Castle.
Early Gina check here from Catobat. Down a game might be taking some less seen checks in hopes of gaining an advantage.
And with the flute, this makes this check a lot more convenient. But only for 3 bombs, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like Catobat's going to head towards the back of Escape as well. Dunka bailing out before Pendant Eastern. Does have the bow, but without either fire rod or lamp, the boss wouldn't be in logic. And you don't necessarily want to start dipping pendants just yet. All right, we are going to get the Uncle check and probably the front of escape here.
Yeah, it's about how many items? Okay, 2 items with Uncle and about 2 or 3 items in the front of escape. As we see a piece of heart from the old man. So we take, so Link takes his allowance from the uncle. And he gets a cape as well. That's a nice defensive item. Only 20 rupees in Spec Rock. And the silver arrows on top of Spec Rock. That's cool.
So essentially free silver arrows, with them being Sanctuary and top of Spec Rock.
So we got 5, 6 at TR and Pod. I think I saw Pendant and Thieves. I didn't see where the other pendant was.
There's our map in Escape, so Dark Cross will have something.
While BigDunka decides to dive into Hera.
Yeah, it's possible this is just locked. No hookshot for Hera Pot and no fire source for basement. But there's the big key.
But he doesn't have anything to whack the mole dorm, so he's gonna bail. And now BigDunka's gonna take a dive into front escape. Which so far for Catobat there hasn't been much.
Yeah, this is the densest location left to Dunka, so it totally makes sense. Oh, well, there's something.
Yeah, gotta go fast. Gotta go really fast. My apologies for the phone.
Kind of doing this dark room. It is normally one of the easiest in the game, but no any free item to check location with. No sword, no hammer, no boomerang, no hookshot. Just the bow.
Which is a usable resource, so he has to be, even though he has 24 arrows, he kinda has to be a little careful with how many arrows he uses.
Yeah, no, we do already know that takes a fall there. We do already know that this doesn't have much for him anyway. It's just a heart piece on the old guy. But the save quit spot is nice.
So where do you think they'll be heading off to next?
Well, I would guess Eastern, with the long straight corridors. So Kato is going to spawn back at the old man after that death. Once you have him, you have to finish the rescue. you cannot proceed without doing so. Which, not the end of the world here. It's actually kind of convenient for them here. Been the end of some Randomizer players over the time, so.
Oh yes, dark rooms and Randomizer are the worst thing ever. Especially when it's like filled with spike roller rooms.
So while they're retracing each other's steps just a little bit, although actually BigDunka's heading towards Dark Cross, which we haven't seen yet. Just for the people who just come in, this is a 6/6 seed, and it's been a bit of a jet seed so far. Pretty loaded CAC, bow and Sanctuary, and then silvers on the top of Spectacle Rock. But we're starting to narrow in on some progression, which is starting to look like it might be an Eastern.
Yep, one of the things they're missing is either a hammer or sword to take down Moldorm, because BigDunka did dip it and it's not fire locked, but he can't get any further without either of those.
Yeah, so I think the only locations we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen Bonk Rocks yet. We haven't seen Zora yet, which is in logic from the glove. And we haven't seen Eastern itself. We did see Sarashvala's Closet from BigDunka.
And based off chat, looks like they BigDunka found half magic in the Dark Cross.
To answer chat, Agina just had bombs, I believe. Catobat definitely went there.
And Bonk Rocks was a bust, only a few rupees there.
Yeah, those now those upstairs chests in Hera are in logic before Moldorm, so there could also be progression there.
That is true. I think the logic here being that they just feel like they don't want to risk having to only get like the map and compass there and then have to come back later anyway.
Well, it'd be map and small key. I think the compass was in the first basement.
All right.
But that would be just as bad because they can't do anything with the small key right now.
Yeah, no lamp, no fire rod. Can't light the torches in the basement of Hera. So now Dunka is gonna finally take the Eastern dip, get that green pendant, most likely.
Yeah, he'll almost certainly full clear unless some progression item pulls him out. Anywhere from 1 to all 3 items could be in logic. Without Fire Rod or Lamp, neither Armos Knights nor the vanilla Big Key chest will be in logic, but that's not going to stop them. They're not going to double dip this just for that.
And since like I said, since it's green pendant, then Sahasra is just right there. Vanilla green pendant for that. You might as well just beat Armos and hand in the green pendant to Sahasra. So no hook shots, so they can't take the shortcut to the next chest, which holds the big key. So only you don't necessarily need the lamp to beat the dungeon in logic. Just the fire rod. Let's see what chest holds at 50 rupees. Now onto the big chest. And we got the full hearts. He's gotta head to big BK chest. It's not in logic, but it's one of the easier dark rooms to navigate, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think either of these dark rooms will give our owners trouble. It is a little annoying doing the one on the way to Armos without a sword.
Yes, it is. I've seen, I guess, buffer shots would be the term for this. For that specific room, they just take a few shots to see, or not buffer shots, but like honing shots. I think you guys get what I mean. And now we have, oh, finally we got a sword, so okay, no worries about the not being able to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Zora, and that's gonna get Dunka to just bail out. It looks like not gonna get the green pendant off Armos.
That is a fair play. I don't think we saw the map unless I'm wrong, but I don't know. That's, if I'm wrong, then that's 2 items he's skipping out on.
Dunka would really like this spin speed, but can't quite get it. Gives up on it and heads up the mountain.
Looks like he has it this time around. And looks like Catobat's also dipping from Green Pendant Eastern.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, if a lamp is somewhere in Hera, then logically we could have gotten the lamp to go get that sword and then come back for and then come back to finish Hera. So they may have avoided that much of a double dip. I mean, they obviously were in here earlier, but they didn't go upstairs.
Catobat unfortunately getting a little dead rocked. Taking his rage out on it right now.
Yeah, that was an extra insulting position where he couldn't even get past into the old man cave to reset the screen.
Okay, next chest in Hera. Ooh, hook shots. They can get across the East Death Mountain. And
Oh boy. I mean, you know.
As I said, the game knows. The game knows. And to answer your question, Chad, the sword was in the big key chest of Eastern. Which, because the lamp was in Hera, the logic says you have to go up Hera without a sword or hammer, and then go back to Eastern to get the sword.
Yeah, basically, unless
Okay, we got a nice fight from BigDunka with using the fighter sword, which can be tricky. And there was just a map on, well, we were expecting a bit map on Moldorm. Small key is locked itself in the Hera basement, and we had our first crystal in the match. First crystal at Eastern Pendant. Let's see how Catobat does against his Moldorm fight, while BigDunka checks Paradox Cave. Ice Rod, Hard Piece, and Paradox, while Catobat takes down the Moldorm easily. 5 nice spin slashes. Next up in Paradox Cave. Hard Pieces, not much there so far. Full Heart and another Full Heart. That's actually pretty useful.
Yeah, but we're getting awfully close to that whole Cape plus Fighter Sword Dark World access through Aga 1.
Yeah, that's not fun, but you know, well, you know what? I think we are at that point. Let's see what Spiral Cave gives us.
Yeah, there's a few isolated checks they could do. Armos Knight's Green Pendant is now in Logic. Zora, those are really miserable checks, though.
I'd say that since they're both close to Zora money, they'd farm a little bit, then head to do the water checks, as we have 3 bombs in Spiral Cave. Come to think of it, I wonder what the stun prize is.
Dunka, didn't you already do this? Oh, going for Zora money, right.
Yep, that's good. Good mind on BigDunka remembering that this boulder holds a 20 rupee pickup. Now we get to see what's at Bobo, Lake Hylia Island, the Waterfall Ferry, and Zora.
Yep, gonna catch Hobo first.
Let's see what our Hobo has today, and it's our Fisher Price Shield.
It looks like Kato's not wasting time, heading straight for the castle.
And the second shield was at Lake Hylia, so 2 of our shields are flippers locked.
Well, okay, heading for the Dark Calls first, which is totally fair. I forgot that he had not gotten half magic yet.
And unlike BigDunka, he'll have the lamp. So you got a camp burner and 300 rupees in Waterfall Ferry, and he's gonna check what the Waterfall Ferry gives us for an empty bottle, which is green goo. We got powder on the Zor ledge, and Catobat is actually gonna make the Agate Tower dip.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna find out here if BigDunka is about to gain a huge advantage or not. Doesn't look like it.
Nope, the Zora item blew 3 times over. Not that surprises anybody. So since we I'm gonna be a little early on this since they're both forced to go into Agatire. Chat, how many blue balls are we gonna get from Aga this time around? What would your usual guess be, Mercer?
My own personal guess, I always go with the same number, 15. I've not yet been right, but, you know, one of these days.
You know, we think alike because I'm a troll. I also want 15, but I've never seen it either. So, Aga Tower, one of the worst dark rooms in the game. Not because of this, the maze that Dunka's in right now, because it has torches, but the next couple rooms where it's bridge with no bridge with holes and no hand railings, which means you can fall a lot. But with the lamp, it's not too big deal. There are torches there if you know where to look, but it is without those railings, it's gonna be a little hard to find them.
So they're going to have a lot of choices on where to go when they get out of the tower. Hammerless Pod, they could head west.
Yeah, barring Hammer, they basically can check most of Dark World, barring Hammer and Mitts. So Agatham, he has a specific pattern. First shot will always be a regular ball. Next three will be either a blue ball or a regular shot, and then the next one will be a lightning, and then next one will be a regular ball. It repeats itself. Oh, we got our first blue ball. And
My guess is out.
Yep, both of our guesses are out. Oh well. So one blue ball for now, lightning phase. So that's, what was that, 3 or 4? I couldn't tell. Okay, that was just one blue ball today for this seed.
Yep, let's see if they diverge or if they both go the same way heading out of here.
Based off Catobat selection, he's going straight to Village of Outcasts. Gonna get some money on the way. No harm in that. And it looks like BigDunka is also gonna take the hook shot across to Village of Outcasts.
Looks like Dunka's heading over towards Catfish.
This actually makes sense. It's a one-off check and you're already here. Might as well do it and then go over to wherever you need to, because it's a waste of time. Plus he could also, since he has a mirror, he could also save and quit. He'll be back at the pyramid. And we found our third shield in the graveyard ledge.
So 2 out of 3 shields getting left on the ground for this seed. Does go back for King's Tomb.
Meanwhile, both big fishes, being pretty useless. As the catfish only had 50 rubies. Oh, Kingston had the cane of burner. Cane of Samaria, excuse me.
Yes, that is 100% required for the sea between Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, both being crystals.
BigDunka was deciding where he really wanted to go, having a little trouble with his stash. And we have a validation arrow at Bumper Ledge. They're not going to pick that up. So
Dunka not skipping King's Tomb either, so they both have the cane. Oh, and there's our Titan's Mitts. That'll make this a little less miserable, although you'd rather see the hammer.
it will give them access to Misery Mire, just to see what the medallion requirement is a little earlier. But yeah, that opens up a lot. So, Catobat taking a look in at least the first 4 chests of Thieves Town, gets the big key in the second chest.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do after that. I'd be a little surprised to go to the back of Pendant Thieves without hammer.
As we get an ether in the third chest of Thieves Town, and a small key. And your guess is correct. Catobat does not want to go to the back of Thieves Town just yet.
Yeah, I believe I counted that there's still 3 items in the dungeon, but you got the small key. There's a very high chance you would isolate one of them.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk when you have other checks to do. I mean, we could find the hammer at Blind or at the Maiden, but yeah, that's pretty remote. And as we get a book in the brewery.
Yeah, so there's a chance that Mire is clearable if it's ether to get in. Desert is clearable. Might head down there soon. I mean, you have silvers, so you don't have to worry that much about the Vitreous fight.
Wow, Catobat gets a 5-dig vanilla heart piece. And he's gonna start up the Smith's chain, probably gonna route that into Stumpy, cave south of Grove, and Hype Cave. Okay, let's see what our Smiths. Wow, they're really good counterfeiters if they're giving 300 rupees.
So yeah, I expect we'll see this purple chest check. We'll see the South of Grove and Stumpy checks. Hype Cave. Probably not much else, it'd be pretty shocking to go in for the one chest available in Swamp right now.
They don't have flippers though.
Oh, right. My bad. I don't know why I thought they did.
Well, maybe because BigDunka did the fake flippers. They can, however, check Bombo's tab.
They can check it, they can't actually get it without Master Sword.
Yeah, there's that, unfortunately. Is Cata? Oh, I think Catobat's doing the chest duplication minor glitch.
Yeah, so basically what this is, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, it's relatively recent. You need to... I don't know if that's going to work or not. Okay, I guess it does. I thought the guy had to actually be on screen when he mirrored in. So basically, the guy checks if the chest is following you before it clears your follower when you mirror, and so you get the item.
Which happens to be a vanilla bottle. How randomized. And we only have Couch Catch in the Bombos tab. They're not coming back for that. Catobat slightly forgetting he doesn't have flippers, almost went into Swamp.
I mean, even with flippers, that would be a very bold play without hammer.
There's that as well. So let's see what Hype Cave has. It's our next bottle. 3 bombs. More bombs. 10 arrows. I give that a 2 out of 10.
I don't. Not with that being the third bottle. That's at like 0.2 out of 10.
You can never have too much safety. And with all their checks out, the Catobat's gonna check into Mire area as well, most likely desert.
Yeah, you get 3 chests from the area between Shed and Checkerboard Cave.
Didn't quite see what that medallion from Mire was.
By the tracker, it is the Ether Medallion that we have. So, yeah, that is going to be enterable if Catobat wants to do it and could clear it.
So this seed has been pretty linear, I would think. It's haven't really you've been following the breadcrumbs this whole way. Yep, just going one place to another, and you just find whatever in a straight line.
Yeah, so Desert was boots locked, but we've had them for quite some time. Catobat setting up for the Death Warp just for the refill on hearts.
Yeah, he had the mirror, but having that low of health, he probably didn't even want to bother with the mirror.
Skips the big chest for now. He'll probably come back for it if land mode doesn't have the other item.
Yeah, gotta get your time saves here and there. It's a pretty minor gamble since you're very close by. So Landmola's 1 coming up. Gonna be pretty quick fights with the silver arrows. You can also Catobat could also use the ice rod or the Canna Samaya, but that's gonna take a little longer.
So yeah, I know we've had a few people come in, and we haven't mentioned this in a little while. This is a 6-6 seed. They do only need 6 crystals to get into GT. It is very unlikely that PED is a lot. Yeah, there's probably some scenario where you need PED, but it's pretty slim with a 6-6 seed.
Yeah, I'd give that a 1% probability of that. Well, Catobat gets his second crystal and realizes Landmo didn't have the item, has to go back for the big key chest, or big chest, excuse me.
To answer Chat's question there about the format in the tournament, after game 1, the loser gets to change one of several settings if they wish to. One of those settings is you can move from the 7-7 that the first game is played with to 6-6. You can also switch to Sword Assured, to a Standard Open, to Fast Ganon. I am blanking on one of them, but there's a number of relatively small changes to the settings you're allowed to do.
So while that was happening, Big Chest had the mushroom, and the checkerboard cave had this single ruby, or one of 2 single rubies.
Ah, yes, randomized maps encompasses the mini key sanity.
And yes, answer your question, chat. 6-6, yes, only need 6 crystals for both to access GT and to access Ganon. And it's still the defeat Ganon goal. And to clarify on the mini key sanity, regular key sanity randomizes all the keys, maps, and compasses in the dungeon. But in the random maps and compasses, it will not change the layout of the key, where the keys will be placed. They'll still be there. So you got our first chest in Meyer. It's just a small key. Meyer's one of the few places where keys are pretty irrelevant, since a good portion of them are under pots. Like that one. And another small key, so they have to check West Side Meyer.
Catobat, a little bit of health trouble. I'm not sure what's in those bottles right now. I think that they do have a red goo that hasn't been used yet.
Yep, the third bottle they got was a red goo, but Catobat takes a death, unfortunately.
And that's going to hurt a little bit. Going to have to redo the second Maya room and then head back to the back.
But we get a hammer in the big room of Meyer from BigDunka. I was kind of wondering why Catobat wasn't checking the other chests in Meyer. He was just going straight to Vidi.
Yeah, let's see. That might hurt.
Yeah, I'm not really getting this routing, and BigDunka did find the second item, in the second of two items in Meyer, which was a full heart, so he's going straight to Vidi now. So no need to check the cutscene chest.
May come back in for it, but this may also be Catobat feeling behind and deciding to take a gamble and there not being anything of value here.
I hope he goes back inside. Even though Meyer is two items, it is still a bit of a risk since you are right here. You might as well finish the dungeon.
Well, some sync there briefly.
Yep, they're definitely acting like a late 90s boy band right now. So, pardon the pun, but blink and you miss. Miss it. Silver arrows, Vidi is 10 arrows and done.
There's a reason Vitreous locks silver arrows in the vanilla game. Yeah, and this is gonna hurt Catobat.
No, he's not gonna like this. It's good that he's checking the mushroom, but the fact that he's skipping out the rest of my, oh man.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a long while before he gets back. I suspect, like, probably makes all of the other checks available. You don't leave Meyer without planning to play into this.
Yeah, like he can check Dark Death Mountain for one, which should be quite a while. He can possibly head into Turtle Rock if it's Ether Medallion, depending if it's not Fire Rod locked in the front as well.
You can't get into Turtle Rock without the hammer to activate the
right.
portal.
I'm a goof. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is gonna take a while for him to get back there. Yeah, he could actually, no, he can flake Flipper into Ice Pals, but he can't complete without the hammer. Not that actually he does even have Fire Rod or Bombos. What am I saying?
Yeah, there are 3 crystals we have you can't complete without hammer. Like, there's no way to complete even with 6/6. You're not completing without hammer.
And I just talked about bombos, and there it is in Pod in the bridge chat. So Catobat checking Hookshot Cave after taking a little pit stop. Flippers, so kinda footwear, locked footwear. Heart piece. Another heart piece. And yet another heart piece. So flippers will add in another couple more checks. Not a whole lot, but I'll add in a couple more checks while we get Vanilla Quake for TR.
Yeah, now that doesn't mean Dunka necessarily needs Quake, because again, 6/6, so Turtle Rock might never be injured.
Yeah, and since they're short of Fire Rod and Skull Woods is required, they're gonna prioritize Skull Woods over TR any day. Speak of which, neither of them have dipped Skull Woods, now that I think about it.
Yeah, the Fire Rod is really the big item we don't know about. We also do need to find another sword at some point, because otherwise you can't beat Ganon.
Yeah, he'll call you a dingus for not having everything ready to beat him. Well, wait, that's the crystal balls for the entrance randomizer. Never mind. So, besides bombos, there hasn't been much else in Pod. As we see Catobat doing the Zora checks.
Yeah, can get the magic powder that Dunka already knew about on Zora Ledge, but had to leave behind. But Dunka, even if I don't think Dunka turned in Mushroom yet, so can still fake powder.
No, it was only Catobat that did that. Did the mushroom check. We also still had the Armos item and Green Pendant turn in that Catobat could check.
It's just the green pendant. They got all 3 items out of Eastern.
Oh, right, okay.
I think the only way we see Turtle Rock get completed is if like this is a seed where Fire Rod is deep into Turtle Rock. Like even if it's right at the entrance, you probably go finish Skullwoods instead.
Or worst case scenario for them, that's locked in Laser Bridge or Mimic Cave.
I'm not totally sure if which way would be faster, if it was like in the first chest on the left when you get in, but it's got to be pretty close, even with the climb back up.
It kinda depends. I'm assuming that the walking through Skull is still faster than going through TR, but
Well, it's mostly about the recline as more than anything else. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of a hypothetical that's probably not going to happen unless Fire Rod is in TR. I would be shocked if TR is beaten today.
Meanwhile, BigDunka quickly takes down Helma, 14 hammer whacks ahead, and a silver arrow to the jewel. And we got 5 rupees off the Helma, and that's 4 crystals for BigDunka.
Yeah, so the fire rod's still out there. That is also Ped's life support because fire rod could be there.
Or something stupid like shovel to fire rod.
Yeah, I'm wondering just how deep Kato's going to go before heading back into Mire. Like, we're going to see first chest of swamp and that kind of stuff.
And the other things we mentioned, like the green pendant. So for our go mode, we're looking for a sword, quick medallion, well, possibly quick medallion, and if they feel like going to TR and the fire rod. Wonder where else they could be at this point. I mean, the most trolliest for the fire rod would be vanilla. Aside from Laser Bridge and TR.
I mean, fire rod could be most places in the seed at this point. That's really the big item. If you get the fire rod, you effectively go into go mode and go through GT looking for a sword. I don't think we really care that much about Quake. Like, you might almost root for it not to show up.
It'd just be funny to see, just because, you know, the trolliness of it all. Because you think the rest like, oh, for cripe's sake, why?
And really, Cato kind of needs Fire Rod to be somewhere like Pedestal or something that's going to tie Dunka up for long enough for Cato to, number one, find it en route to getting back to Mire, and also to go back to Mire. Gonna get a magic bat check. This is new information.
As well as a spike cave check on BigDunka's side. And Magic Back, I crusty with just a piece of heart. Same for Spike Cave.
But yeah, if Fire Rod is somewhere that's not hammer locked, then Cato might have an advantage finding it, just because so many checks are locked by the hammer.
Just need to double check. Did BigDunka check Ether tab or no?
I don't think we had the book the last time we were up that way. They can't get the item without Master Sword anyway. They're not going to go back up there just to read it.
Well, he was by the GT area. He could have just mirrored. He has the book. He had the mirror. He could have checked it. So I was kind of wondering if we ever actually saw it.
No, I don't think anybody took the time for that. Going for the hammerless pod. I don't really blame Cato for this, but it's not going to pay off.
They'll just get him access to Ice Palace, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's actually not good for him. Getting the fake powder over on Dunka's side, and we know it's not going to really pay off, but we'll keep him from going over to Zora Ledge to pick that powder up at least.
So how fake powder works is that you have to empty out your magic meter, use the fire rod, then very quickly, like a one frame trick, sort of, um, quickly switch to the mushroom, and it'll activate the powder. So BigDunka just empty out a few of his bottles, and he's okay. I think he's gonna fill up his bottles, do the mushroom check. I'm assuming an ice palace dip is incoming.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's clearable at this point for Dunka. Not clearable for Kato without the hammer. Entirely possible that the fire rod is in ice with Bombos access. That's certainly happened once or twice.
More times than I can count. And even with half magic, Bobbles does take up a fair bit of magic, so eating those potions will be a big help, especially since he's still on Fighter Sword.
Yeah, I think the potions might be just as much for some health backup on this hammer cold stare that's coming up, unless the fire rod gets found.
Yeah, it's not like you can use Ice Rod on an ice creature. So first item in Ice Palace is a heart container. 2 more to go.
Kind of just about done with the checks that can be made in pod without the hammer, which is all of them except the balls.
While BigDunka is on his way to everybody's favorite bomb jump, the Ice Palace bomb jump makes Ice Palace so much faster. And he lined it up very well. I've noticed people having a little issues with lining it up with the Fighter Sword compared to Master Sword or Tempered, but he did it very well.
Okay, so we are going to get the green medallion check. This is somewhere where Fire Rod could be that both of them chose to skip very early, so this could pay off.
This will, if it's here, if it's on the green pendant, that would be such an incredible troll, and we'd wonder if BigDunka is gonna go back for that. So next, chest in Ice Palace, just the compass. Time for the big key chest. And we get the big key. Wow, vanilla.
Yeah, it has to be somewhere.
Time for the ICU room, and that's 10 arrows. You know, a lot of the rooms in the Ice Palace, they look like letters in the alphabet. Meanwhile, on Catobat's side, Armos Knights with silver arrows very quickly down, and the Catobat's got his green pendant. Let's see what Sahasra has. And we
There it
got,
is.
as you said, Bombos locked the Fire Rod in Ice Palace. So officially, we're in no mode, not knowing where our next sword is gonna be.
Yeah, that's probably gonna just put to rest much in the way of hopes for Catobat here. I respect playing into the gamble, which he has continued to do. It was a conscious decision to skip those chests in Mire. But yeah, now he's heading for hammerless Ice Palace.
Yeah, it was very conscious. Even before the death, he was heading to Vitreous before checking the items. So, yeah, this is gonna take Catobat a very long time to go back to Mire. And to answer your question, Chad, while we don't know what is in either tab, the Bombos tab just had couch cash. But you are right. There could be a sword on the pedestal. Could be a sword on the ether tab. And yes, this race is 6-6, so only 6 crystals required to access GT and to defeat Ganon. And yes, correct. The first race in each set is always going to be 7-7 defeat Ganon.
Yeah, Kato's not going to be able to get to the fire rod since it was in the big chest and the big key was in its vanilla location.
Which, unfortunately for him, is hammerlocked. So BigDunka not even checking any chests here in Skull. He's probably just gonna go through as fast as can and hope for swords in Ganon's tower. So here we have one of the Trolleys bosses in the game, a Mothula. Not because of the Moth himself, but because of his arena room with all the conveyor belts and the multiple spikes moving around. Plus, he doesn't take spike damage if he's knocked in spikes, but BigDunka takes him down very quickly with fire rod shots and a hammer. Gets 20 rupees, gets a 6 crystal, and off we go to Ganon's Tower. So, is there a game we're supposed to play?
Yes, as far as I know, the bot is still down, but people can get their guesses in chat anyway. Now, for once, we might, see the actual big chest checked looking for a sword. There's some unusual possibilities going on here.
So yes, chat, as I see all these numbers, get your guesses between 1 and 22. Where is the big key in Ganon's Tower? Mercer, where do you usually guess?
I usually guess 22 because it's the most obnoxious, but since they can't actually stop when they get it, this time I'm going to guess 1.
Oh, so we're similar like wavelengths. I also guess 22.
To answer chat, yes, Quake could be in GT because you can get there now, even without having gone into TR.
So Catobat's finished with Ice Palace. Where is he gonna go off to? I'm seeing a Skull Woods dip. As you can see that it's 6-6, there's only 6 crystals flying to deactivate the barrier around Ganon's Tower. And BigDunka's gonna head in.
Skipping Hope Room, full left side strat to start. Might be DM. One's dead, it's just 10 arrows.
How those 10 arrows are surviving staying on that torch. Then again, it could just be like a kebab skewer at this point. So 2 is a key, 3 is a key, 4 is a piece of heart, and 5 is another key. And
3
looks like-
skeletons, 3 skeleton keys.
Basically. And it looks like you're right, he's going Dark Magician strats. Hope Room only having ammunition, so that's 7 down. BigDunka not having any issues with the last 2 rooms. Number 8, 50 rupees. Well, we got
There's
our Master
Master
Sword.
Yep.
So
that's
now,
go mode.
yep, at 119.10, BigDunka is in go mode. But so far, in terms of big key, we're 11 down and nothing doing. And it doesn't look like BigDunka is doing full Dark Magician strats, because that typically goes to Ice Armor, so... But he's went back left again.
Yeah, you don't tend to actually see the full DM strats very much. This seems to be a very common path now.
look where Catobat is heading off to.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it. You're just playing into every location other than going back to Meyer. It's just not going to work out for him this time. It's a totally reasonable line to take.
Number 13 in Fireball Room, just 20 rupees. Off to Random Room, so named because you don't see this room unless it's a randomizer. You don't even see this at 100%. So, small key, 20 rupees. Oh, now we got our big key. I believe that was 16? Yes, 16, I believe. No. Yeah, 16.
Yep, we'll probably see the remaining 4 chests get open, looking for tempered, just to make things a little easier, because you'll never complain about having tempered instead of master. But even then, with silvers, with those blue potions that Dunka picked up, this is going to be a pretty easy cannon fight once up the tower.
So in terms of our big key guessing game,
Yeah, Cato heading back into Misery Mire now. I believe this is actual last location. I do not think they have anywhere else they can check.
I wonder how much rage is he gonna have after seeing that the hammer is there.
I mean, I think he knows at this point.
He at least knows there's something here that's locking him out, whether it be Fire Pod or Skull or TR or something, but he knows that this is the last place he can go. BigDunka having a little bit of issues in the gauntlet, but the last few rooms not too bad.
Yeah, gonna take a refill rather than risk dying, which seems like a good choice.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the last couple of minutes of progress you've done in Ganon's Tower and going through that gauntlet again. It's not fun. And Catobat finally has his hammer, and he's marrying out. I don't know if he found that heart container, but he's getting it out of there.
Yeah, I'm guessing we see. Oh, interesting. Heading back into ice. This will actually work out. They're going to go straight to get the fire rod, probably, assuming a full clear.
Well, he has 2 items, 1 or 2 items here in Ice House as opposed to 1 item in Pod, so this makes a lot of sense. As he said, he was gonna, BigDunka was gonna check the top 4 chests and only finding money so far.
Well, red mail. You won't necessarily say no to it. Makes the Ganon fight safer.
That French vanilla red mail at that. Mold Arm 2 quickly down with 3 spin slashes. Let's see what he contains. It's just 50 rupees in savings. Off to Aga 2.
Yeah, Master Sword with silvers, I believe has another blue potion left. Cape, if he wants to use that, half magic, like pretty good fight as Master Sword Ganon fights go.
At least it's not silverless. And we got a triple double on BigDunka side against Aga 2. On to the Big Pig.
Aga 222.
To answer question, sort of question, chat. BigDunka doesn't really need the torch glitch when he also has bottles and silvers. So BigDunka has to do a lot of spins with the Master Sword on Ganon. It was at 12 and 12 for the first two phases, 4 in the second, and then 4 more plus silver arrows in the last phase. And as you said, BigDunka is using those cape strats for the first part of second phase, but he gets a nice corner right there.
Yep, and into phase 3. With silvers from here on out, the sword doesn't really make much of a difference.
The only real slow part is that he has to do spin slashes. And Catobat just got to his goal, finally finding the fire rod.
Yeah, Dunka's gonna finish with a very good time here. Wow, this is a set of Ganon warps. Please stop.
Yeah, it was warping my brain with all those big number of warps. BigDunka missed the torch glitch, but that doesn't matter. That's 2 more arrows into the pig, and he's down. Get your GGs in chat. BigDunka has won this race and won the match.
Yep, BigDunka finishing in first place with an official time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, 12 seconds.
Hello, BigDunka. GGs.
Many thanks, GG's.
So, what did you think about this seed?
Second Agassi in a row with no option otherwise. It's never any fun. But it wasn't too bad. The hammer was a little tricky. And of course, who knows where the swords were. It could have been a lot worse. The early silvers helped it.
Yeah, this seed was very linear, from what I can tell. It's just like you're just basically following the breadcrumbs and going from here to here to here.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing that I was a little concerned about was leaving Green Pendant behind in Eastern. The way I did that opening sequence in the first 30 minutes wasn't the best, and then I got a little concerned. But as everything opened up, at least Mitch showed up, and then eventually Hammer. But I got a little concerned there, especially going Fighter Sword into GT. But in the end, it worked out pretty good.
Yes, and just to mention in chat that Catobat has forfeited, unfortunately. Not very surprising since he did forget the hammer in Mire.
Yeah, I talked to him after. I know Catobat. It kind of sucks getting paired up against him in the first. And he's a really good dude. And yeah, it looks like he had a really rough one there. But I know he played. He's played really well lately. So he's not done yet. We talked about it later.
Yeah, you guys, everybody here still has a lot of races to go. You have like two more matches, excuse me, to play in this group stage per group, I believe.
No, it is double elimination. I'm looking up who they will be playing next with the series wrapped.
Yeah, Weighty Words and Bombchu, I believe, are the other half.
Oh, they want. I should have checked this up because it kind of looks.
They never played that.
It does not look like they have started their match yet. It is Weighty Words versus Bombchu Missile on the other side of Group M.
Yeah, so it's the waiting game now. They have all week to do it. So at least the pressure's off. You don't have to worry about anything for the rest of the week.
Of the two, who would you rather face?
I don't want to face Weighty Words at all. He's really, really good.
Yes, he is one of the top, one of the top runners. I don't know what seed, but he is one of the top runners of LTTPR.
Well, he won the SGL this year too, so yeah, dude can play.
Well, that match will have to be determined before you know if you will be playing.
Oh, of course, who knows? Yeah, there have been some upsets already. Been watching a decent amount of these, and there have been some. I think the gap between the 1s and the 4s is not near as big this year as it has been in the years past. So, yeah, it is. Everybody's got to play.
Yes, since we've started doing these tournaments, everybody's been leveling up for the past few years. It's been really great.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the seed, on the Kakariko well being so loaded, that kind of thing?
No, I mean it was again, and you're right. It was pretty linear. I don't think I routed it incredibly well. I laughed when I saw both Hook and Lantern, and then up on Hera, and then the Sword back in Eastern to get all that in sequence. You'd have to double dip anything anyway, but it was just one of those. I'm not a 6/6 is an interesting beast, depending on when you get items. So thankfully, in this case, Fire Rod was going to be go mode regardless. It didn't matter what order anything came in. So I'm just happy that we got some decent early boots and didn't make too many mistakes. Had a bit of indecision through like the midway point on where to go, and cost me a little bit. But other than that, it was.
I'm betting you were happy you didn't have to see Quake at all this seed and possibly dip TR.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only thing keeping me out of going in when I was up there the first time. It's typical. It's actually great, just because it doesn't, it limits the options. My biggest concern was going to be a couple of swords in Turtle Rock, and then, Quake, elsewhere. I mean, it could have been anywhere at that point. So that was my biggest concern, because I didn't want to have to go back up there. But thankfully, it just kind of went out the way that it did. So everything's all good.
Well, glad to hear it, and congratulations on moving onto the winner's side of your group. Good luck once that match starts up.
Great, thank you, and thanks for everyone for doing the restream, the commentary, tracking, all that jazz. And it's a lot of work. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Give both of our runners a follow at BigDunka and Catobat. They put on a good show for us today. Thank you to our tracker, Osgeek. Any other thoughts from you on this particular seed, Siri UX?
Nope, not much else.
Well, those of you, as we wrap up here, get the collection rates and everything in a second. People interested in tournament action for Link to the Past Randomizer, I've got some good news for you. There's a whole bunch of really good matches today. Starting just about now, probably a couple of minutes into it, there's JTB versus Korek on the main Speed Gaming channel. Coming up at 7:50, Yagamoth versus GFE 12. And then later on tonight, we've got a few more matches with Goomba versus D Demolisher, Fat Boy versus Zero Rush, Trinex versus Emo Saru on Speed Gaming 3 and Speed Gaming 5, respectively. To keep up with all the action, follow the Speed Gaming family of channels 1 through 6, as well as the ALTTPR or ALTT Randomizer channels 1 through 5. Thank you all for listening, and you all have a great night.
Yep, laters all.